Yo, 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 yo! Welcome to the stream, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. You got me here. You got Kat in the back. And after probably about a little more than 2 weeks, we are here again streaming. And there's Molly. Come here, my girl. Ooh, excuse me. Burping. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us tonight. Today, whatever it might be for you, where you're at. Yeah, I just wanted to ease back into it with a sort of just chilling stream, just chatting with you guys here in the chat. Great to see you, great to hear from you. And I do apologize for the 2.5 weeks off was not planned, but our Christmas break has been full of sickness. So we weren't really feeling up to streaming. I mean, I could have streamed while I was not sick, but I did not want to be unavailable to help my lovely wife back there. And then as soon as she was getting over that, we both got sick with a cold, and I would say I'm almost at 100%. My throat's still a little weird. I've been coughing up a lot still, but much better than we were, to say the least. But we're here, and I just wanted to talk tonight. Just wanted to hang out, chat with you guys, see how everybody's holidays were, and just kind of I guess speak my mind a little bit, talk about some things I've been thinking about. A lot of it, most of it, YouTube related in one way or another. Is this music too loud? I don't think it is. I'm gonna leave it where it's at for now, but if the music feels too loud for you, chat, let me know. Nice, Kame. Congrats, and welcome to the stream, dude. How you been? How you been? How you doing, my guy? Thank you for joining us. We are doing much better, Kame. Much, much better. I love you. What you doing? Oh yeah, I should make sure this is working properly. Okay, so it is working properly. Good. I've been pretty good. That's good to hear, Kame. It's very, very good to hear. Yeah. Indeed. I gotta go back to work in 2 days, and I'm not too excited about it. Not too excited about it. Yeah. Don't really know all the words I have to express what's going on mentally in that department. I have no clue, Kame. I do not pay that close attention to every word my chatters say in the chat. But basically where I'm at right now is I have wanted to do YouTube as a job for a very, very, very long time. It was like that thing in high school that became my dream job, you know, beyond the ones you come up with in elementary school. I'm gonna be an astronaut. I'm gonna be a firefighter, or whatever I used to say. I used to say I was gonna be Superman and Spider-Man, you know? That was my childhood dream job, but that's obviously the words of a child. And it's kind of, you know, it's when I'm working on YouTube pretty consistently, when I'm streaming pretty consistently, it's easy to tell myself like, oh yeah, you're working on it, which isn't like completely false, but I want to do something bigger, but I want it to still be me. I don't want to fall into the habits I fell into a few years ago, where I started trying to make like BAAACK type content, and I was doing all this crazy IRL stuff that I didn't really want to do because it seemed fun. I wanted to do it because I thought it was going to like make the difference in my life. Thought it was going to blow up and make me a professional YouTuber. And then I could stop working my job and just turn making these crazy high production, high effort videos into like a career. which is a fine goal for people to have, but I feel like it only works if that's really, really the type of person you are. And the type of person I am, thanks, Kame, I appreciate it. I'm glad to be back, my friend. And I'm sure Kat is too. But the type of person I am is somebody who's been on YouTube. My 12-year anniversary of being a YouTube gaming content creator, and just somebody that was really trying to make it on YouTube. December 23rd, 2012 is what I've long time considered the birth of BAAACK, the birth of this side of my life. 2012, I was, how old was I? 15, I think? I'm trying to think. Let me do the math. Yes. At that time, I was 15 years old, almost 16. And I just started doing YouTube. I loved it. I always had a passion before I even started doing YouTube for creating things, and the medium I always wanted to go was video production, was YouTube. And I, for a time, thought, I want to be a film editor. I want to edit films. I want to edit movies and TV shows and all that. And I still don't know if I'd hate that, to be honest with you, but it was a lot more work than I was ever willing to put in to get there. By the time I actually was old enough to go to college, I went to college for computer science, and I was like, I'm going to make video games. I'm going to make video games. And college sucked. I was not a college guy. I did not enjoy it, and I never made it through. I think I maybe made it through one semester ever. And then I tried two other semesters. I ended up dropping out in both of those semesters. And it was, honestly, a waste of my parents' money, first and foremost. But it was just like, I don't know, maybe now, being older and wiser, I could go back to school and have a different mindset on it. But I am too deep into life to have that as an option without doing like half a semester per semester, and then I have absolute no time for anything that I actually want to do. It would be work, school, and I'd have no real family time, most likely, and I wouldn't have time to do YouTube, and it would have been quite painful. It would be quite painful, I should say. But when I was in school, it was never really my thing. It wasn't something I ever had a passion for, and I didn't have that vision in my head that I was working towards something, because even in college, I was thinking about YouTube, which is something I was actively doing while attending college. So, my goals weren't prioritized on, I want to, if I get through school, if I get through all these classes, I'm gonna be able to, do what I really want to do in life. I'm going to be able to make video games. No, I was looking at it as the entire time I was there, I'm like, man, this is a really good backup plan I'm working on. I'm going to be a YouTuber, and if that ship ever sails, I'll go and use my computer science degree to get a video game job. And all in all, that none of that ever really panned out the way it should have. I dropped out of school. I chased YouTube really freaking aggressively. And there was a time where YouTube was paying my car payment, and I thought, this is it. I'm going to make it. It's paying my bills, because I had one bill at the time. It was my car payment. And eventually, I don't know, I got burnt out. I gave up too many times on it. I was working little minimum wage jobs. I eventually didn't have a job, and I was doing Uber Eats, and I couldn't even keep up with my few bills on Uber Eats. I was living like week to week. I had to hustle it out and grind it out and stay online on Uber Eats until like midnight every night, just hoping I would get one more. And it wasn't fun. Uber Eats wasn't like a terrible thing. I found enough ways to find enjoyment while I was doing it, but keep in mind, I was a lot younger. I didn't have much to call my own at the time. And I remember a day I was hanging out with two of my buddies. They were just hanging out with me while I was doing Uber Eats because I needed to make money, but they were trying to kick it, and I was like, yeah, I'm down to kick it as long as you guys are down. That, might have to go and run an Uber Eats. They're like, screw it, dude, we're down. And we sat there for hours in a busy parking lot, busy shopping center full of restaurants that are on Uber Eats. And, I had Uber Eats and Postmates at the same time, waiting. Whichever one comes first, I accept. I turn the other one on pause mode, and I'd do my delivery, and I'd go back to a good waiting spot. And I remember a day I was hanging out with two of my buddies, and I just kind of hit that breaking point. I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. This isn't working out, like, I need to make some actual money and get a job. Like, I need to be able to pay my bill, man. My one bill. So I don't remember if that was before or after when I was delivering pizzas for Pizza Hut, but I, eventually came to that point, and I told my dad, hey, I'm ready. Bring me in, like, get me a job. I'm ready to come to work and sell my soul for this money, because the industry my dad works in and that I now work in, it averages 10 to 11 and a half hours a day, and I don't live necessarily close to the work. I wouldn't have been able to buy a home if I lived close to work. Had to buy a home in a commuter town to be able to make it. You are a Kame, indeed, casually listening to my life story, and I appreciate you for it. But I wasn't able to keep doing it the way I was, so I made the really hard decision of going to my dad and being like, hey, I'm ready to get into the business. It's not what I want. I was honest the whole time. It's not what I want, but I need some money, dude. I'm ready to grow up. It's kind of how I put it to him, and he, are you sure about this? Are you really sure about this? If I knew now what I knew then, or if I knew then what I know now, might be different. Might be a different answer, but all in all, I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I feel like, due to working my job, all of the best things in my life have come my way. But honestly speaking, I was desperate at the time. I said, let's do it. My first week was very brutal. I didn't think I was going to survive in the industry. And my dad gave me the push I needed. He said, well, all right, you don't have to come back after this week. Just finish the time we got you for and what we need you for. And if you don't want to, you don't got to come back. And I went, it was like I think it was a Tuesday to Friday thing. By Friday, I was somewhere, I was reporting to a different location. I work in the film business, so we're all over the place. And the first set I ever stepped foot on, I was demoing it. That's my job, demo and cleanup, primarily. And this set was ridiculous. To this day, I've been in the business now. I'm coming up on 4 years in April. And to this day, those were the hardest days of work. Absolutely. And my dad kind of knew what he was doing. He said, hey, we got to get him in on the worst of the worst so that he's ready for anything. And I'm glad he did. Because ever since then, it's been like, oh, at least I'm not in that tunnel again. But needless to say, I stuck it out. I made it past that week. I made it to Friday, and then after Friday, I think I took the weekend off. Obviously, everybody had the weekend off. Not always in this business, to be honest with you, but I had that weekend off, and then Monday, I wasn't technically hired anymore. So Monday came around, and I think on Monday, my dad called me and said, hey, you ready to come back tomorrow? And I said yes. I kind of just, I don't know if it was me being myself and being too stubborn to stop what I had started, or if it was just me not trying to let my dad down, or me just really thinking about it. Man, the money they're paying you per hour is significant. And it's, what else do you got going, dude? And I remember the day I got the call. I was actually streaming when my dad called me, and I told the stream, all right, guys, well, here it is. You might not see too much of me anymore. And it was nerve-wracking and heartbreaking in a weird way, but I went back to work the following week, and I got paid, and it made it a lot easier to not mind my job for a long time. I was also working with some really cool dudes. The hours on this particular show I started on, a lot of days were really freaking easy, and we got off before rush hour began. So I got home in a pretty decent amount of time. Commute never felt crazy, and it was pretty sweet. And it was a far commute, but getting off at a good time made things good, made things easier. And then I chat. I know, like, barely anybody's here, and you guys are kind of just listening. I appreciate you anyways, just for being here and hanging out. But you know, I made it through that first show nice and easily, and then my second show came around, and I was driving. To this day, it was the worst commute I've ever had, and I got stuck doing it for over a year. Over a year, and we weren't doing these easy days where you get off before rush hour. Even the easy days were extremely difficult mentally and emotionally because we had to stick around until the peak of rush hour traffic, the worst time to leave work. And it still felt better than staying later because I'd still get home sooner. I just had to sit in soul-shattering traffic for a lot longer. And I did that for a really long time. It started, this is where I began trying the BAAACK Mr. Beast style content stuff. And, you know, I definitely was doing that out of desperation to get out of my commute. I was putting my feelers out there, trying to go work on a different show as soon as possible because I didn't want to keep doing the drive. And, eventually, the biggest opportunity that I saw for me getting into another show, they basically just said no. And it was me trying to go back to work with my dad because they had a way better drive than I had. And he said, no, you are providing you have a set position on the crew you're on, which I did. I very quickly worked my way up into a position where you know, the big boss liked me, and he chose that I would stick around on stage rather than being at the construction warehouse. He decided, no, I want this kid here with me at stage. He's gets done whatever I ask him to get done, and that led to the over a year of being that guy. Not gonna lie to you, I like that job. I felt good about myself at work. There were some days I was ready to start swinging hands, but never did. Yo, what's going on, Tangled? Welcome to the stream, and thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Yes, we are glad to be feeling better and to be back as well. But, yeah, basically my dad was being my dad, and I appreciate him for it. It was for the best. It was the more professional move to make. And I'll get into, like, this will all come full circle to what I started this rant off with, of me talking about YouTube dreams and how this all pertains to YouTube in some way. But my dad was like, no, dude, you got a good spot there. I know the drive sucks. Write it out. You'll see what happens, dude. But I was a little butthurt, and I kept trying to do the YouTube BAAACK IRL crazy spectacular content that I really didn't have any heart for. I just had a heart for making it on YouTube. But after doing that for a few months and having no ideas, I was trying to put out a video every week. I was in the Creator Now program that BAAACK launched way back when, that teaches people how to like, you know, really do good storytelling and make good content. I retained a lot from that. I don't regret taking that class. I regret trying to... I took it too far. I took it too seriously. The lessons were great. The homework and the challenges of, like, oh, you gotta upload every week. I'm like, what? Why? Why? And, like people say, oh, YouTube loves it when you upload every week. I've watched YouTube myself. I've started drawing my own conclusions because there's no algorithm handbook. This is all stuff that people go through trial and error to come out with these answers of how to beat the algorithm, how to win on the algorithm. And that was what Creator Now was doing, but under the guise of we are professionals and we know for a fact this will work. And I didn't entirely, knowing what I know now, I think that they were selling themselves a little bit with that. They were, leaning into we have professionals. We have big names in YouTube coming in and giving talks, and our core principles here are backed up by them. And it's like, well, to be honest with you, the whole you gotta make a video every single week thing, I've seen a lot of channels blow up uploading a video every other month. But every video gets good views because they have prioritized quality over quantity, even if it means they're working probably full-time jobs with mandatory overtime like moi. And they're doing it when they can, and they have incredible willpower and strength to keep pushing and making content regardless of how long it takes and how little time they have to work on it. And those channels have inspired me massively. And that is when I came back to YouTube and streaming, and I was talking about like editing videos, and we're gonna stream too. But the videos are the main focus I wanna focus on, which is this is where we're at now. I was looking at those channels. Which really gave me the motivation and courage that, you know what, I can make really good content, even if it's few and far between. If I make these videos good, I can make this work out. I can make something successful. But a little bit of a rewind there. Basically, one thing led to another. I got saved from my really long commute. I started working with a different department and a different crew altogether, and they had a spot for me that was way, 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 way closer to home. I was getting paid a higher rate because technically I became my own boss. I'm not actually my own boss. I'm still working this with these guys right now, but I kind of became my own boss because it was a one-man crew for my specific position, whereas everybody else shares the same position and they kind of jump around and do what they gotta do, is such as the nature of Hollywood. But me being in my position, they were able to offer me a lot that I couldn't get elsewhere. And I, at the time, was a single man, and I wanted to do YouTube, and I jumped right on that opportunity. I'm like, more money, half the drive, count me in. And it was great for a time. It was such an improvement, and I had so much less going on in my life. To be honest with you, I had a lot less ambition at this time in my life for things beyond just putting my time in at work and making money. And a lot of that had to do with the hours, because, like I said, 50-hour weeks to 60-hour weeks typically was kind of the name of the game, and still is. But that gig there, I was pretty happy clam for that whole show that I worked with those guys on. There were some frustrating moments and some stressful times, as with any job, but it wasn't enough to like beat me down. And it wasn't until reflecting on like the end of that job much later on that I kind of started to realize a few things about how I was actually feeling. And not to say it was a bad job, not to say like anybody was disrespecting me or, taking advantage of me or like, nothing like that. I just started coming to realize it wasn't really my cup of tea. But I made it through that show. Show ended. I had some months off. A few months off, and when was this? I'm trying to do a little mental timeline right now. This was during that time off, after that show, is when I met Kat. And we became a boyfriend-girlfriend situation on Christmas Day, 2023. And wait, no, 2022, right? I'm a year ahead right now. Yeah. So Christmas of 2022, I'm so jacked up with the changing of years, man. This has been the most. My calendar is discombobulated due to the new year. But basically, that happened on Christmas, and my life started to change pretty drastically because I went from a guy who didn't anticipate ever getting married, never thought I'd really find the one because I was super picky, and dating didn't really ever work out for me much. And it went from that to like, oh, hey, I've actually found someone who is incredibly easy and natural for me to love, and I feel more in love every single day, even now, 3 years, talking just years, because it's technically like, what, 2 years in a month, but all this time later, I still know that I made such an awesome, incredible decision, and I have no regrets. But needless to say, this started changing some perspectives in my life, and it was when I went back to work a few months later. I think it was about like early February, maybe end of January. I finally got a call to go back to work. I was looking, but I finally got a call. There was a show that I could get on, and I worked on this show for about a month. And during this month, it was the actual consistently most hours I had worked on, like anything. We were working Monday through Saturday, 11 and a half hour days, basically a 12-hour day, because it's 6 to 6. Even though I got lunch and breaks in there, 6 to 6, that's 12 hours of my life. I'm calling it a 12-hour day. What it says on paperwork isn't as relevant to me, because if I could work through lunch every single day and leave 45 minutes to an hour earlier, I would vote for that every single time. Give me my 2 15-minute breaks. Give me 1 15-minute break when lunch should be, just to get some food in my system. And I would much prefer that to having to take a lunch every day. The only reason I value lunch is because I am required to take it. And, I'm not going to work for free, because I'm not getting to go home early if I work through lunch. I don't get that option. But if I had that option, I would take it every single freaking day. I would sign a contract saying no one's getting sued. And this gig was fairly rough, I guess. But I had fun. The work was incredibly fun. I got to go on man lifts for my first time. I got to actually work on them, not just do my training class. So I'm wide open space. I'm driving the big old boom lift, and those things go fast. I made the best of it, and it was one of my favorite shows to work on, ever. And even though the hours were crazy, didn't like the hours. I liked the show and I liked the work. But it never, beat me down too bad. But after that, towards the end of that, me and Kat were in escrow on the house we're currently sitting in. So I had to keep the checks coming in, and the future of my employment was looking uncertain due to the part of the job I had been brought on for. It was done. And I was talking to my direct supervisor and the big boss, and I'm like, hey guys, I hate to just drop this on you, but I don't know what's going on here. Nobody's telling me when I'm laid off. And if I miss 2 days of work, it could be detrimental for getting this home. And I can't let that happen. Thank you for the work. I'm out of here. Hopefully we can work together again. Everybody understood. Didn't burn any bridges. It was awesome. Went and worked with my dad again for about another month to keep the paychecks coming in so escrow could see my money and could, okay, yeah, he's making money. He's allowed to get this loan. We'll give him this loan for the home. And it all worked out. And as soon as we got the house, my dad was kind of shooing me away, like, go back and work with the guys who have been paying you really good. He was trying to, you know, encourage me to do what would be the best financial move for me. And he had all these ideas of what I would be best at and what I would enjoy most in the business. And him being my dad, I gave his word too much weight instead of making my own decisions, I guess you could say. And I just jumped ship from that show. I texted my department head, and I was like, "Hey man, thanks for having me on, but you know, I'm gonna go back to these guys. They're ready for me, and that way you don't have to lay anybody else off instead of me. I don't want you to start picking favorites because my dad works here or anything, you know." And he was cool with it too. He's like, "All right, cool. Later, dude. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it." And I went back, worked with my usual crew for about 2 weeks before I smashed my finger in a machine and ended up on workman's comp. But I gotta be honest, those 2 weeks were really unpleasant. I didn't like the work I was doing, and the talk of the town was everybody was gonna have to relocate to Oklahoma for who knows how long to work in Oklahoma in the middle of tornado season. Some people were already out there, and everybody loved sharing how bad the weather was and how much everybody that was already there was telling them, "Oh, the weather is awful. Don't you even think of driving yourself out here in your own car. Your car will get destroyed by golf ball size hail. Just share the vans like the rest of us." Like how 5 guys got 1 car to share. It's like, you want me to live like that for how long? Didn't seem fun at all. I dreaded the idea of it, and it was like, I'm like, no, dude, that's not what I want from my life. My at the time girlfriend is, she has a job here. She can't come out there with me. So what, you just want me to spend all this time? I wasn't in Oklahoma, Tangled. I didn't do it. I smashed my finger, not on purpose, but I declined going to Oklahoma. And literally the very next day, I had a lot on my mind. I wasn't thinking straight, and I was using a machine, distracted. Don't do that. Don't be distracted on machinery, because you'll dang near lose your fingertip. I lost a tiny bit of my fingertip, but you can't even tell from there. You might be able to see that this finger's a little more like curved right there. It's a little bit of meat that got taken off, but it healed incredibly. I got lucky. But I didn't want to go to Oklahoma at all. It was Oklahoma City is where I would have been, Tangled. But I didn't want to go to Oklahoma at all. I didn't want to leave my girlfriend and my dog in a house that we had just bought to, "Oh yeah, hey, we've been here for 2 weeks. Have fun. Bye. See you later. Enjoy learning home ownership without me, and I guess I'll learn it when I get back." Everything about it seemed awful. So I made the tough decision again, even though I knew it would land me in a position of much less income. I was like, I can't do it. I can't go. And I ended up on workman's comp due to my finger. And that kind of saved me a little bit, that I got a little bit of money coming in from workman's comp, because otherwise we would not have made it through the impending and what started just after this, the actor or the writer's strike that led into the actor's strike. The longest strike Hollywood has ever experienced happened right after buying a home for us, and that was really rough. But one thing leads to another. I get a call just in time from Universal Studios, the theme park, not like the lower lot where they make movies, but I get a call from the theme park. "Hey, you want to come and help us destroy Halloween mazes?" I don't know why they picked me out of all the people in my union that were out of work. They called little Cody Mack, and I'm like, I'm there. And they sounded surprised to hear me, like, excited. "Oh, really? Yeah, duh." It was mostly, Tangled, just I didn't want to leave my family right after purchasing a home. So, I go back to work for the theme park. It was actually a lot of fun. It was the most fun I've had since working this job, working at that theme park. And I got my fingers crossed I'll end up back there pretty soon. And that'll just be where I stay, and we'll get into that. But went there for 5 weeks, and then I got a call to go back and work with the guys that I worked with on the show that I really liked, that I was on the boom lift back in February. And I worked with those guys for about 6 months. And I loved these 6 months. It was an incredible 6 months. We're now in 2024. I didn't start getting burnt out on this job until the time to go back to my usual crew, the guys that made the connection with me and these guys I'm currently working for, or I was currently working for. The time came where it was going to be time to go back to where I came from, my home. What's up, Yubi? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. I get you, Tangled. And, you know, that was the only time I got a little burnt out because nobody would give me answers. Such as the way of Hollywood, my least favorite part of Hollywood. Everybody's like playing this game of business, and I'm a card in the mix. And if I was a less high number card, you know, I'm not saying I'm a king or an ace, but I'm at least a 9. All right, I'm at least a 9 in the deck of cards. And if I would have been like a 5 or a 6 or lower, they probably would have just let me go. But the people I'm working for wanted me to stay for a little longer, and the people that I'm gonna go work for, that I've worked for a long time now, they're ready for me, and they're like, you know, everybody's just saying, oh, maybe this, maybe that, and I'm like, just tell me. And eventually the point came where I was like, you know what? Thursday is my last day. I want an extra day. I want at least one extra day off with my family in between shows. I've been working for a while, and this is exhausting, and I want to recoup before going in to another gig. And my wish was granted because I stood my ground pretty solid. And even when the current boss was like, oh, man, I could really use you for Friday, though, I was like, hey, man, I mean, if you absolutely need me, like if I for whatever reason, you need me and nobody else can do this for you at all, I'll do it. And I kind of, you know, just put it in perspective, like, dude, I don't want to let you down, but I see what's going on here. I work here too. I see the workload. I see what I've been doing every day. And I'm already beyond, I'm already working here later than I thought I'd be, because you are like, keep saying, oh, well, I could really use you a little longer. And, you know, I was like, all right, dude, like one thing led to another. And I just kind of, I stood up for myself finally. And I said, hey, I hate to do this to you, but Thursday's got to be it, you know? And then that conversation happened, and he eventually said, you know what? Our budget's pretty low anyways. It's fine if you just take off on Thursday. Thank you very much. It all ended very amicably. I can't say the word. You know what I'm trying to say. Ended peacefully. No bridges burnt at all. I still talk to that guy and a lot of people from that crew, and I love them all dearly as comrades and coworkers and buddies. You know, they're really cool guys over there, and I really enjoyed working with them. I'm good, Yubi. Thank you for asking. I'm all right. Let's be a little more honest. But so that happened, and then I go and work on the show that I worked for the rest of 2024 on. It was in December, like last month, when I stopped working on the show we're about to start talking about, but it was just to start working on another show with the same guys and the same department. And this is like still kind of the department that I said, you know, it wasn't really my cup of tea working with them once I reflected on it. And I had a blast working on the show before this, and then my first week going to this show, it wasn't like, you know, the work was hard. It wasn't like I didn't want to work or I was lazy. It was almost the opposite. It was unrewarding. I started realizing how much more rewarding the work I was doing before was, but it still wasn't. You know, the hours still were never my cup of tea, so I don't want to start giving the impression that, like, oh yeah, it was all good and dandy doing 12-hour days for months on end, because I was truthfully really burnt out on the 12-hour days. 10-hour days I can cope with very well. I can cope with 10-hour days depending on where I'm working. Because I did 10-hour days for the last few weeks of work. Maybe the last month of work last year. And I still was just so burnt out, man. So burnt out and so, just not digging it. Wasn't feeling the same satisfaction I had felt from working other jobs that were paying me less even. There was jobs that paid me much less that I felt much happier at. And, once again, it's not really to the fault of any individual or anybody doing me wrong. It's just kind of, a number of factors, work environment, my duties, and what has been restricting me from doing my duties the way that I have taken pride in doing them my whole career since I've gotten in and started building a name for myself. And, basically, it's just been a little bit rough because I'm realizing now that I need the money that I make from my job. Those hours, the long hours, are sometimes critical in just keeping enough money coming in to survive and own a home in the state of California. And I live in a cheap city to own a home in California, and I still struggle making a pretty good paycheck. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to get into numbers and make it a numbers thing. But I still, I wouldn't say we struggle. It's not like paycheck to paycheck, but it's so hard to build a cushion. I think of the things I would want to do that I see a lot of other people do when they don't have as big of bills as I do. And, you kind of got to pick your battles. Do I want to throw less money into rent for however long that I could never get anything back from? Or do I want to pay more money on a mortgage that actually results in equity? It leaves me with something that I can sell and get money back to go and pursue something else, perhaps. No regrets on that. But I look at the way my dad lives, dude. He's owned a house since way back when it was a lot easier working in this business. He's had a lot of ability to afford, my siblings and I and my mom, all of us, luxury things. We rode dirt bikes a lot when I was growing up. They've always had the trailer to go camping in, to take camping trips in. It's always been pretty. I've been a pretty privileged kid, thanks to my dad working really hard and putting in the hours, because I didn't see him much on weekdays. And he came home grumpy a lot of the time. And I get it, because I come home grumpy a lot of the time, and I don't feel good about it, because why does my family gotta experience my grumpy because work made me grumpy? Why can't work experience my grumpy? And that's because you'll get fired at work if you're too grumpy in some avenues, But it's just for me, it's why do I gotta be grumpy at all, man? I've worked a lot of jobs that don't come with grump. And, but seeing how hard my dad worked and what he was able to provide for the family, I look towards my future, and kind of just how old my dad was when he was able to start providing these things, when they were able to start buying kind of luxury items. I'm not talking luxury cars, not talking sports cars or the biggest house on the street or anything like that. Just little smaller things, like being able to have dirt bikes and a trailer to go camp and ride dirt bikes in the desert, this and that. It was doable, and they were still saving money. They were still able to put money away and save it. And I look at my income and my mortgage, and I'm like, dude, if I were to have children right now, I couldn't even do half of what my dad did for us, for them, they'd have a comfy home, they'd have a roof over their head, they'd have, a bed to sleep in. It's not like they would be neglected or not taken care of. But it's like, I can't, right now, it's hard with just me, my wife, and a dog to be like, oh yeah, let's take a weekend trip to Legoland or to anywhere like that. That would cost too much money to be available as an option to us easily without it causing some sort of burden or stress or oh man, dude, now we gotta save that money back up and hopefully nothing happens before we get there in this very volatile Hollywood industry. And I look at that and it's a bummer. I'ma just say it how it is. It's a bummer that I work as hard as I do, as long of hours as I do, and I can't enjoy the fruits of my labor the same way my dad could enjoy his. And I'm not trying to say, like, I wish he was more like me. Not at all. I wish that things didn't change so drastically, that it was so freaking hard for people my age. And a lot of you guys are younger than me, and I'm sorry this is the world that's been left to you. It's kind of unfortunate, but I got faith in you guys. You'll figure it out. I somehow figured it out, in a sense. But still, like living how I live now is a huge accomplishment, where this used to be normal, where you work a job and you could afford a house. That's like the basis of it, Me and Kat, we've been able to afford some luxury. Cough, cough, tricycle. So it's also me fighting back against the notion that I can't afford luxury, that I gotta save every penny. I've made some calls where it's like, you know what? It might be a little bit tighter financially for a little bit, but it's freaking worth it because I want to do this for us. I've worked hard for this money, and this is how I want to choose to spend it. And I'm proud of myself for doing that. I have no regrets on that freaking tricycle. That thing's awesome. Awesome. You see her nodding? She loves it. She loves her tricycle. But, like, hey, what's going on, Gotcha Tuber? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. We're about to get back into how this ties into YouTube, and it's about to get a lot more personal. It's going to get a lot less life story. It's going to get a lot more personal right now, and I appreciate you guys being here and listening and hanging out. But yeah, so, Hey, Tangled, you're speaking my language right now. You are speaking my language right now. Gotta get that bread somehow. So, here we are now, 2025. I go back to work on Monday, and it kind of crossed my mind last night. What did you miss? I told my entire life story for the past 4 years. You missed that. That's about it. Let me gather words. So, it's a new year. I go back to work for the first time of the year on Monday. And last night, we had a group of 4 friends over watching the first Sonic movie because only one of them had seen it. And me and Kat are huge into the Sonic movies. I've been a huge Sonic fan since childhood. Haven't played a lot of the games recently, but I just bought Sonic Frontiers, and it's pretty fun. I'm a little confused, but it's pretty fun. And had some friends over to see the first Sonic movie because after seeing Sonic 3 in theaters, I've been on such a Sonic high. But they left. It was time to go to bed. And the thought crossed my mind. I have 2 more nights of, like, free nights. Tonight being the last free night before it's a work night. And then that's it. It's back to 50 to 60 hour weeks at minimum for the next who knows how long. Won't get another maybe half a week off until Thanksgiving. and I won't get a full week off at least until next Christmas. And it started kicking my butt as soon as it crossed my mind, because I'm not looking forward to going back. I was so burnt out before, and I was very much looking forward to 2 weeks off, and most of that 2 weeks has been filled with sickness that Kat and I have been navigating, and now we're all better. But truthfully, you know, we missed out on like a little bit more than a week, about a week and a half of being able to do what we would actually like to be doing. Getting out there, doing fun things, living life, streaming, you know, just embracing every moment. And I took it way worse than Kat did. I'll tell you right now. She might have been the one that was sick, but it was breaking my heart to see her sick every single day. I didn't know how to cope with this. And it kind of, you know, it was still better than being at work because I was with my wife. And, you know, I would much rather be with my wife in any situation than be at work, truthfully. But it wasn't the break that I wanted, or I was telling myself I needed. And that all kind of came flooding in last night, right before bed. Started kicking my butt, man. Started kicking my butt. I managed to get the sleep, but I woke up today with a feeling that I haven't had as strong as I had it today in a while. And it was just to be straight up, point blank honest, it was the feeling of depression, not the feeling of sadness, not the feeling of just burnt out. I was straight up depressed all day, and talking here has been somewhat helpful. We'll see how I feel after streaming. I'm gonna try my darndest to push through it and have a good night with my wife. The last free night we have before I'm going to bed at like 8 or 9, and that's too late to get 8 hours of sleep for me. Let that sink in. If I want 8 hours of sleep, I gotta go to bed at 7:30 p.m. I get home at about 6:15 to 6:30 on a work day. That's 10 hours. That's not the 12-hour days I've been talking about. On 12-hour days, I get home with 15 to 30 minutes of time if I want to get 8 hours of sleep. And I'm not trying to like make myself sound like, oh, I'm such a victim of this business, because there's a lot of people just like me that do a lot better mentally and emotionally with these facts than I do, because they are able to look at their paychecks and let the paycheck speak for everything. They see that they're doing all right. They're making a lot more money than they would be able to get anywhere else without a pretty good resume or pretty good degree, which honestly, not a lot of people in Hollywood got degrees in the prep side of things, in set construction, special effects, set dressing, props. A lot of those departments aren't degree driven. You know, it's experience and who you know driven. And I'm in the same boat as a lot of guys, but I have a lot harder of a time looking at my paychecks that are paying the bills and being like, yeah, that's good enough for what I'm doing here. Because I have a very difficult time not taking work home. I have a oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Tangled. I am super duper sorry to hear that, Tangled. We are keeping you in our thoughts. And R.I.P. Boomer. Poor puppy. Man. But anyways, I have had a harder time letting, at least for the last year or so, maybe 2 years now, I've had a lot harder of a time looking at my paycheck, seeing that the bills are paid, and accepting that as a good enough trade-off for, working a job I don't really enjoy, and it's quite, I kind of dislike it a lot more often than I like it these days, truthfully speaking. And it takes a soul toll, man. I heard Shady say that once, the soul toll. And it takes a soul toll, doing what I gotta do keep putting the bread on the table, if you get what I mean. And it's I try to be honest with myself about that instead of lying to myself to get through it and to get another week of work done and you know, do it with a smile on my face, because then when I get burnt out, I get burnt out hard. And that's why I've tried to be really honest on YouTube about my feelings and thoughts about content, and when things are beating me down. Since I've come back to YouTube, the most recent time, I've been doing my best. I've been doing my best to be a lot more honest, not just with you guys, but with myself. Because I have a habit of telling myself, oh, I could grind out YouTube like it with every waking hour of free time I have, and I'm gonna be fine. I can do it. I got what it takes. I don't got what it takes. I've learned this about myself, and being honest with yourself about what you can take is pretty good. You know, it's not to say don't push your boundaries and try to build strength, but you can't always just fake it till you make it, just right out the gates. You know, you gotta build that muscle and get it going and practice it, and there's a lot to that. And you know, it's just a situation that I'm in. I guess, you know, I feel like that point came to a good closing point there. So I'm gonna try to move on to another to like the next point. Yeah, I hear that. Gotcha. Yes, absolutely. Honesty, the truth will set you free, as somebody said. I don't know who started that saying, but to be cliche, your own truth will set you free. So, anyways, here we are now. I'm going back to work. I have no excitement or motivation for it other than the money. We need the money. I need the money. I absolutely, you know, I'm gonna give it a freaking very solid attempt, and you know, I'm sure I'll do pretty good of going back and just kind of disconnecting from all the things that are bothering me and making me wish for change, and just get done what I got to get done and accept that this is my life for now, but this too shall pass. It is not forever. And there's plenty of opportunities in the future to find myself doing something I enjoy more. That is my goal, and it's hard to to get that goal through my head, because I've been living a truth for the better half of a year now that does not reflect this goal as being easily obtainable. And you know, still grateful, very grateful for what this the people I'm working with, what they've done for me, all I've been able to acquire and achieve since working with them in my personal life, such as affording a home, as like the big number one thing. What will pass? Hey, what's going on, Phoebe? Welcome to the stream. You're gonna have to rewind. I've told my entire life story on this stream, but welcome in. Happy New Year. And what will pass is working a job that I have no real motivation for, no passion for anymore, and such a lack of drive, man. The thing that keeps me working hard at work right now isn't that I love my job. It's that I have a lot of pride in what I do and the name I've built for myself, and no amount of upsetty spaghetti is going to pull me from the path of keeping my name good. I got a lot of pride. Chat might not know this about me, but my ego is bigger than Texas. My ego is bigger than Alaska, because Alaska's bigger than Texas. Did you know that? And it's not like a super unhealthy ego. It has been at times, but, you know, deep down, I know what I got. I know what I'm worth, and it's actually good to reflect on these things, because a lot of the time I struggle. I struggle with self-confidence, and then I remember who the heck I am. It's your boy, Cody Mack. Sorry for that. Sorry for that face. I won't do it again. You know, but I believe in myself a lot. It's just kind of, you know, I was talking with Kat about it earlier. The current circumstances of my job, it's just no reward in it beyond the money. And I've worked plenty of jobs making good enough money to pay the bill since I got in the business that are also incredibly rewarding. Incredibly rewarding, very fulfilling, and this ain't that. And I miss that a lot. And there's something I miss even more than that. And that's, we're getting into the YouTube side of things now. We're getting into the YouTube side of things now. So, I want to be a YouTuber, like a career YouTuber, more than anything. The only thing I want to be more than that is Kat's husband, and I'm already that. So, you know, like, family first is definitely the motto, but when I take the time to think about me and what I want outside, like in my work life, rather than my home life, YouTube is always the top of the list. And I have done some crazy crap on this platform to try to get there. Hence, when I wrote the B-movie script in the middle of the desert. If you guys remember that video, I'm gonna tell you right now, I was so desperate, I faked it. I faked content. And I hate that. I hate that. I mean, you guys probably put that together. Who's writing a 50,000 word script in the middle of the desert, in the sand with sticks? The amount I did was so tiring. I still worked hard, don't get me wrong. But I was trying to get it done in a week. I couldn't stay in the desert because I have a job. But I was doing crap like that. Just to give you reference. I was doing all this stuff. BAAACK was in one of my videos because a now good buddy of mine who I think has gone through a lot of the evolution I've gone through, that was once chasing YouTube in the same ways, Michael Porter, Reverend Michael Porter. Me and him were in the middle of the freaking desert building a house on land that BAAACK had bought for people to go out and film on and do crazy stuff on. I don't even want to tell you half the stories from that desert, but you should never go. Don't go to BAAACK's desert without, like, a lot of people. It was scary a few times. There's some bad stories we got. But we went out there. BAAACK came out there to see the house, and I got him to challenge me for a video because I was so content-brained. I didn't even care that BAAACK was there. I was lying to myself like, oh, this is so cool, BAAACK's here. As soon as I got over this, I'm like, I don't even like his content that much. I just see that he got 1 million subscribers in a year, and I'm trying to replicate. I'm trying to look up to him because if I look up to him, maybe I can become him. I don't want to be him. I want to be me. I want to make it on this platform as me, man. But I ran into... let me catch up a chat here. All good, Phoebe. I appreciate you. Boom. Boom. Car free. There's a little bit of that's a little bit of what I got going on. I could be learning some new stuff. But learning from guys who are not the most positive fellas isn't really like isn't really encouraging. You know, when everybody seems so drained around you, it feels wrong to ask somebody, hey, can I borrow you for part of your lunch to teach me this? Because I don't have time to learn it none of us have time to be given lessons on the clock. You know, every now and then, maybe, but I got duties to tend to, and I can't even get them all done in my scheduled workday. And that's, you know, that's that. But I can understand that family if it's okay. No, absolutely, Phoebe. Go for it. I might not read all of it if you're bringing in a story of your own, because I'm in my I'm in my flow state, but I will come back to this. I see you got like 3 pretty lengthy messages here. I just want to not lose what I had. My Mr. Beat Light era. Oh, man. Tangled. Thank you for saying that. And I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you at all. I'm very grateful you stuck around. But that wasn't me at all. And you guys knew that. You guys that have been watching me since 2017 was when I gained my most viewership, and a lot of you guys showed up. You guys knew that that wasn't me. I was being stupid. Maybe not stupid. That's a little harsh, but I was trying too hard. I was trying too hard. And, you know, all of that for the sake of chasing my lifelong dream of being a YouTuber. Because I love making YouTube content. I love streaming. I love talking into a camera. I love talking with you guys. And I love entertaining. I love entertaining. I notice I'm always trying to crack jokes and get people to laugh in person, at work. I like being an entertainer, man. And for me, I don't want to go and sing and dance. I don't want to be a musician. I don't think I'd be a good actor, but I've never tried acting, so I can't really rule that out. But I like, you know, authentic, as yourself entertaining, or as myself entertaining in this case. And that's really what I want to do with my life. It really is, and I want to do it on YouTube more than anything because I've been here since I was 15 years old, and I turned 28 this year. Coming up on, 13 years of my life, which is dang near close to half of it. The more conscious, mature, and intentionful half of it, I've been doing this. And I've quit so many times out of anger that it wasn't working. Every time I have quit YouTube, it was discouragement because my dream was not coming true. And I had a hard time coping with that to the point where making content became painful because I couldn't get it out of my head that it wasn't working. And then I quit. And I broke my mantra, you can never say you failed if you never stop trying. Because I stopped trying a few times. And I've kept coming back, and I'm proud of myself for that. And, if I'm lucky, I'll never fully quit again. I'll always be doing something on this platform. The platform that's brought me so much joy and so much freaking pain, man. But I know you guys know how much this means to me. How passionate I am about what we're doing here and how much potential I feel like I have. When I made those Tokyo Ghoul Minecraft videos like 7-8 years ago, if you haven't seen those, go watch them. Go watch them, because they're still some of my proudest works. And if they didn't take so freaking long to make, I might do it some more. I really might, man. Minecraft roleplays were awesome. Such a medium of self-expression. And now I have a hard time scripting and making a video about me and my beautiful wife having a blast doing a Soul Link in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And there is so much creator's block there. And I know it is rooted in exactly what I'm talking about right now. The fear that it will not work out again. And part of me, not even part of me, all of me knows I just gotta write it out, man. A big thing that has somewhat discouraged me, Shady Penguin created his YouTube channel after I created my first YouTube channel. And he made it, doing the exact same type of content. Not saying I've ever been as charismatic as Shady. Shady is a special breed, and he is the father of the PokeTuber Nuzlocker community. Everybody's called him dad before he was a dad. Now he's on Dads Being Dudes. We love Shady. I don't know many people that don't have a soft spot for Shady that watch Pokemon content or have watched Pokemon content. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've compared myself to Shady way too much. Way too much. And that, comparison is the killer of all joy. And I've done good at not comparing lately, but I haven't talked about this. and I haven't talked about it on YouTube. And when I talk about YouTube on YouTube, I feel like it is a whole different level of getting it off my chest, because I'm talking to you guys, the people that have been here supporting me. And, I'm going to be honest, I feel like I've disrespected you guys a bunch by disrespecting myself in the same way and quitting YouTube, having bad mindsets about this stuff. And I don't want to do that anymore, because this means too damn much to me. And that's the matter of the fact. That is pure facts. Big facts, boy. And I have more to say, but I'm going to take a quick breather, because I have spent the last hour and 10 minutes straight talking about me, and it's felt good. But I want to talk with you guys. I know Phoebe left a big message from the heart, and I will not be ignoring that. I'm going to catch up with chat for a second. Oh, man. I'm so sorry to hear that, Phoebe. Oh, I won't, Phoebe. You didn't have to tell me none of that. Let me just say straight up. You didn't have to tell me none of that. I'm never letting go of Kat, and I will never lose her. She's stuck with me, and I with her. We are perfect for each other. And I know a lot of people say that about themselves. You should talk to absolutely anybody that's ever seen us in the same room. Everybody knows it. Both of our parents, all family. My family loves her to death more than they like me, and her family almost likes me as much as they like her. But we are a very loved couple. We are a very loved household, and everybody loves us together, and we love each other together. We love us. More than I love her and she loves me, we love us and our ability to get through things, to support each other. And even when it is hard, because, I can't speak for Kat, but I know with how I have gotten down in the freaking dumps so much in the last year, it couldn't have been easy on her, because she freaking loves me so much. How could that be easy? But we made it through, and we love each other no less. We have no fears that our relationship is on the fritz or anything. Hard times come, we buckle down and we get through it together. And we get to the other side, and it's a beautiful thing. But let me keep reading, Phoebe. I don't know. It's hard because I am her daughter. They show me the most love when I am demonstrating how good of a partner I am to you. So if they like me more, it is simply because I treat you right. That is true. You absolutely do. I love you. All right. So, catching up with chat. Okay. Yeah, I hear you, Phoebe. I'm very sorry to hear that, and I applaud you and appreciate you feeling the strength to share this in my chat. Man, I am very incredibly sorry to hear that, Phoebe. Phoebe, let it come. Don't try. This is my advice to you. This is my advice to you as someone who had, like I said earlier, didn't see myself getting married. I was a love is dead type, and I didn't even have an experience I never had an experience as impactful as yours. But I had a billion reasons why it wasn't going to happen for me, and why I didn't want it to happen, and this and that. I was so headstrong on I was going to be single forever, and I wanted it that way. And that was a defense mechanism, sure. But I didn't let anybody in to the level that I would have needed to be where me and Kat are today. I wouldn't let it happen, even if I was in a few months relationship talking phase here and there. Even when I did have a girlfriend a few years before I met Kat for like, I think it was 8 months. A lot of that was long distance though, which is its own thing. Through all of that, I never opened up the way I needed to. And the biggest thing is I could never see a future with any of them. And that was just how it was. And then I met Kat, and we went on our first date, and I didn't expect, you know, to, we were really digging each other just from messaging, but I didn't expect to go on a few dates and have my entire perspective and viewpoint on this thing and my life change. But it didn't take too long. And I do believe in, like, maybe not the whole love at first sight thing, like you see someone across the room and you're like, ah. But, you know, after our first 10 or 20 meetings, which were very close back to back, since I've met Kat in person, we maybe didn't see each other for 2 days. A lot of people said that was crazy. A lot of people were like, ah. And I was like, I don't know, dude. I know what's going on here. Like, I feel it, and this is a feeling in my soul that I refuse to neglect. And I'm happy I didn't, because it was real. It was real. It wasn't wishful thinking or anything, and I wasn't even looking. I wasn't even looking that hard. I was just kind of keeping avenues open to meet people, knowing that, at the time, knowing, in parentheses, it wasn't going to go anywhere. And then it did. And I didn't fight it because there was something so genuine and natural and easy about it. I decided, no, I'm not going to fight it. This is good. And it has been so much better than good. And I'm happy I listened to that part of myself. And, yeah. But, yeah. Carfree, what I just said applies to you, too. What I just said applies to you as well, my friend, because that's what I used to say. That was like exactly what I used to say. Comedian? I don't think I'm funny enough to be a stand-up comedian, but the comedian style of entertaining is definitely more my cup of tea than a musician, a dancer, a actor, something like that. Tangled? Me too. I hope I hold on to that too, and I think I will. Because get ready for this bombshell. I recently made a decision to start living by the needs of the man I want to be instead of the wants of the man I currently am. And the man I want to be, he needs to stick to that and make content that he is passionate about. Otherwise, I ain't him. And I will be him. I will really be him. That's totally good, Carfree. You saying that you're good with yourself, I'm not calling you a liar. That is, I was good with myself, too. And I was super content with my friendships and my lifestyle. But what I got now outshines any part of life I've ever experienced. Thanks to that girl right there. And the pooch and just everything I've accomplished for the sake of us. And yeah. That is true as well, gotcha. Is a lot of the negatives in life make it harder to soak in the good stuff. And today I very much failed all day at soaking in that good stuff, and the negatives were just attacking me with so much power. But in my heart of hearts, and when I am in sound mind, even though there's things I want to change, I wouldn't change a thing up until now, except maybe a few small things that wouldn't be ginormous in the grand scheme, But every tough decision I've made to be where I'm at has ultimately gotten me where I'm at. And where I'm at is a beautiful, lovely place. And doesn't mean it can't be more beautiful and more lovely, but it is sometimes, when things really get heavy, it gets a little hard. All right. Card free, don't chase it, man. I think what you got going on is fantastic, and let that be the thing. The person you are in this happiness with yourself and your friends and your life, let that be what brings them to you and what attracts them to you. Because if I feel like a lot of guys, when they're trying so hard to find a girlfriend, and I can't say the same for girls because I haven't known as many girls chasing guys or chasing like a relationship as I've known my boys trying to get out there and do it. They try to present this side of themselves that is not genuine because they think it'll sell. They think it'll sell to a potential partner, and it don't work. It won't last, rather. And my 8-month relationship was exactly that. I was trying to sell a certain me to this girl, and then by the end of it, I'm like, man, I can't be myself because this and that. With Kat, I have been myself from the jump, and that's because I wasn't looking.
And that was super attractive from the girl's perspective of so many guys where it's like, well, what do you think about this? And then I'll say something contrary to what they just said, and they just do a 180, like, yes, I totally agree with you. And I'm like, just tell me who you are.
Instead of being like a pick me. Yeah. Like, oh, that's what you like? That's me.
If you disagree with me, that's fine. Let's have a discussion. Crazy.
I don't know how well you guys could hear Kat, but I hope you heard that much. All right. All right, let me catch up a little bit more. How do you get over there? Is there any way you could think of? Let me go back and see. How do you get over like the heavy stuff, making it hard to see the good stuff? I'm really bad at meditation, but everybody I know that meditates says that's very helpful at grounding themselves. And for me, you guys know the band, or not the band, but the musician Hyper Potions that makes like Game Boy Luke's theme song. Hyper Potions music speaks to my soul because it reminds me of YouTube, and listening to that brings me to such a blissful place. It makes it easier. Finding music or other mediums that bring you to a calmer, more peaceful place to think with a sound mind. And then once you get to the sound mind, you don't have to get to happiness. You got to get to mental clarity. Even if you're still feeling a little down, that anxiety in your chest a little tight maybe, you got to work one step at a time. You got to get to a point of clarity. And when you're at a point of clarity, that's where you attack. That's where you start going through these things. And if you start going off the rails and it goes the opposite direction, you're getting back into the negatives, restart. It's not easy. Takes a lot of time, and some days you will fail all day. Some weeks you will fail all week. Keep trying. Nothing is forever. This too shall pass is a huge saying, and it is a great saying that even though it's cliche, there's power in it. Trying to be whistling Diesel car free? No, I'm kidding. You never know, though, car free. I mean, for all you know, your perfect partner is a girl who could be a part of that, could be in the shop with you guys, a gearhead girl, and one that is down to have a child and have your child become a total car kid because just you throw your passions at your kid and share it with your child, it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm going to get married and put all of this fun aside. No. If that is really important to you and who you are, the right person for you will fall into that and not push against it. If somebody tries to pull you away from all that stuff, not for you. Somebody's going to love you for exactly that you're a dude who wants to get all your boys in a shop and be a bunch of idiots. Somebody's going to think that's beautiful, love your mentality, love your philosophy on it, and they're going to fall in love with you. That sounds crazy because you might think that's crazy, but they're out there. Don't know where they're at, but they're out there. What's going on? Snowy, don't know if I'm saying your name right. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming through, dropping in the chat. We appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a great night. My day's been rough, but my night's been better. All right. Dude, this stream is turning out beautiful, by the way, chat. You guys are amazing. You guys are great. You're capable. And I love seeing you guys talk with me in this way because this is great. This is great. This is healthy. And I hope I'm making somewhat of a positive impact on at least a few people here. If not, I've made a positive impact on myself, and I'll be okay with that for now, you know? But yeah, I appreciate you guys more than words can express. On it, like you said earlier, I want to be able to make a... Hey, Phoebe, I hear that, and I have felt so much pain over that, and I want to talk about that more too before I stop streaming tonight. So I'm gonna get back to that pretty soon. Carfree, I know I'm pretty slow at replying to DMs, but I for the people that I allow to DM me, the homies in the chat, such as Carfree, people that have been around long enough to become my friends, you're always welcome, Carfree. Always send me anything, man. I don't want to sound like this isn't meant to be demeaning, but you're my little brother Carfree now, okay? Understand that. I'm here to help you and support you as your bro. You know, maybe not like a biological brother, but you got your bros, and you're my bro, man. I appreciate you. We've had a lot of really good talks, and even when I've given you advice on things, it, in a weird roundabout way, a lot of the time, it moves me. And I appreciate the opportunity to be that person that you're leaning on, and I appreciate that you understand I get to it when I'm mentally, emotionally, and physically available to do so. But I will get to it, my friend. Needed a good cry. So you came to this conclusion. I was doing too much. Hey, gotcha. Crying's freaking hard for me. I have a hard time crying no matter how bad I want to. But crying is healthy. Crying is so good. And if you cried today, I'm proud of you. Not a lot of people say that. Crying is more often seen as a weakness than a strength. But if you could just let it out, express your emotions, the beautiful thing of the human process, do it. Freaking do it. I'm here to tell you it's okay, and you should cry if you feel like it. All right. Let's see. Nice, Phoebe. I'm proud of you, too, for that. Yeah, that's a very good mindset, Phoebe. Rushing is not smart. I rush a lot of things. And I dive into things head first, even if the water is shallow. And it's brought me a lot of pain, emotionally and mentally. And it's wise of you to not be rushing, just to know this is something that I need for me. And I'm going to get after it. One way or another, I'm going to start getting after it. And one day we'll get there. However long that might be. Progress. Progress is beautiful. Hey, let's go. All right. Phoebe, you're getting to little sister status, all right? Oh man, we're getting too parasocial, chat. Abort. No, I'm kidding. Gotcha. I'm gonna share you another one of my personally built like quotes. I have a few quotes that I've had over the years that stick with me so strongly, and they're even more impactful to me because they came from me. But breaking points can be making points. When you hit the point where you are breaking down, you've been holding it together for who knows how long, and you can't do it anymore, and you break down, you're crying, feel like you're dying, that is a vulnerable point, and I have had some pretty good success in those very emotional points at using that strong emotion to push me in a better direction. And I begin the next day walking the better path. Not to say I get better in one day, but try to let your breaking point be a making point. Use this time of self-vulnerability to get in there. Your shell is cracked open, dive in and get the magnifying glass out, do what you got to do. I don't know the solution for you personally, but vulnerability is, I feel like it's oddly enough a time where change can be dug into your head because you are so impacted in the moment. If you throw something good mixed in with that impact, it's going to stick just like the rest. And when you focus on that, the rest kind of starts to fizzle out when you see what could be and that kind of thing. I know I'm kind of messing up my words right now. It is hard to break that mindset, gotcha, but just every time you feel like crying, if you got to think of what I've said here tonight or somebody else that you're even closer, that you're close with in your life and they mean a lot to you, try to find a piece of something they've said that means something to you and hold on to that. Hold on to that. I've had a hard time pulling things out of myself, but when I got somebody I really respect, when they say something that I might already know, just hearing them say it and me believing them helps me get it through my head. Phoebe, DM me anytime. Same thing goes as what I said to Carfree. I might not get to it right away. You've been here long enough. DM me anytime, Phoebe. Hey, I'm proud of you for that, Carfree. That right there is progress, my friend. Oh yeah, breaking points are scary. It is scary. It's not easy. I'm not saying this stuff's easy, but put in the work. Something Shady said, in regards to something else, which I have applied to everything in my life, is when you're not when you're just, when you're not letting yourself get to that breaking point and you're not getting through that and you're going around it, whatever your understanding of it is, when you got something that is tearing you down and, I'm not saying it has to happen fast, but you deserve enough respect from yourself to face these things, even if it's hard. And you deserve the better version of you that will arise on the other side of it. You deserve that. It's hard to tell yourself that because nobody thinks they deserve as much as they do, but you freaking deserve it. Whether you want to accept that or not, I'm here telling you as a fact, you deserve it for yourself. And you're still here. Exactly. Gotcha. You made it. You have made it. You did not explode or implode. You're still standing. You're here in my chat. You're opening up a little, and that's all stuff to be proud of. Sorry, Kat, if you didn't expect this therapy stream, but...
This is what I expected.
Oh, okay. Hey, no problem, Phoebe. No problem. Nice, Carfree. That is really, I'm getting a little fatigued on, on kind of this very philosophical and, emotional, stuff. So I am going to try to get back to, talking about the pain that I have experienced with YouTube specifically. We're going back to rant-a-whack. So, hey, Phoebe, I'm rooting for you. But say another breaking point comes, don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself because you already got it hard enough. Just remember, you deserve to get through that. You deserve to get yourself through that. And you deserve that respect. You deserve to respect yourself enough to get through that, which is the respect word. I know it makes it sound a little more harsh, but it's been huge for me. Thinking about my actions as in terms of how respectful am I being towards myself. And today I failed at that, but now that we've talked about this, it's nice. I could stand up right now, car free. It's set up. I just didn't want to stand today. I was going to do a standing stream before we got all sick and stuff, and then it didn't happen. We'll stand soon. We'll do a standing stream soon, just for the memes. But basically, the biggest thing I wanted to talk about tonight, more than my life story that I spent an hour sharing and all of that, is after all this time, like I said earlier, not all of you are here yet, my 12-year anniversary of being a YouTube content creator that wanted this to be his career has just passed. I started my first YouTube gaming channel, which was the first channel I took somewhat seriously, on December 23rd, 2012. And we are now in January of 2025. We are a few weeks past my 12-year anniversary. And with that, not much has changed in terms of what I want to do with my life. I'm doing something with my life. I have a successful career. It's done well for me. But at the core of my soul, this is what I want more than anything. I want to build a YouTube channel up myself. I want to make it myself. I don't want to go work on another YouTube channel. I don't want to just be involved in YouTube. I want to build something here on this platform that I have loved all of these years, and I want it to be successful, gosh darn it. And that's something that has been hard to say on camera in a way that is as true as it is to me. Nobody that has this ginormous dream of being successful on this platform wants to come out here and say they're doing it for the success. They say, "Oh, I want to do it for fun. It's my passion. It's my hobby. And if I ever make a few cents, cool. Nice." And that's where I started, maybe, and this is still my biggest passion, my biggest creative passion, my biggest interest outside of family. As I was saying, family comes first. Don't even really have to say that. But YouTube and being a creator on this platform and using that as a job to where I don't go and clock in doing stuff I really don't want to be doing. I wake up and I clock in doing what I freaking love. That has been what I've wanted for my entire adult life and then some. Since the first realistic dream and actual dream job I've had outside of the weird childhood make-believe stuff is being a YouTuber. And I know I'm a YouTuber, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. I want to be a successful YouTuber that could support himself and his family off of this thing that I love so freaking much. And it has caused me a lot of pain, and I have been really bad at coping with it because I care so much about this. I care. It is so important to me. It's not everything to me because I got a lot more now than I used to, but at a time, this was everything to me, and it is still such a big part of me. And I came back a few months ago saying, We're not going to worry about the money and the success. We're just going to make content we love to make. We're going to have a lot of fun, see how it goes, try things out. And I'm not saying that my path is going to be different than that, because it can't be different than that. As Tangled and I were talking about earlier, you have to make what you are passionate about, or it will never work. Never, ever work. I learned that the hard way. I feel like I'm kind of currently learning that the hard way, but I don't understand why I can't pull the passion out of myself to make this video, this scripted storytelling video of mine and Kat's adventure through a soul link that we did on Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I've been struggling with that video. I've had the footage forever. I've started editing it, and now I look at it and I want to restart the whole thing. And I don't know why. I don't know why, if I just don't think it matches my standard, and I'm having a hard time putting something out below my standard when I haven't really made a video like this ever. Except maybe some of the Zelda videos. Some of the Zelda and the Oblivion videos where I had the voiceovers going and stuff like that. Those videos, I don't look back on negatively. I look at those videos like, man, it was a lot of work and I can't come up with ideas, and I don't want to do... I was very stubborn about not wanting to do Pokemon content. And I still got a lot to figure out. No worries, Gotcha. I wish you luck on your homework. But I still got so much to figure out on this YouTube platform in the ever-evolving landscape of YouTube. But I'm being as real with you guys as I've ever been on YouTube. I want it so freaking bad. More than anything I don't already have. I want this. And I don't know how to approach it. I don't know how to, I guess I did figure it out, but I didn't know how to look at my viewers that are here on a regular basis and say, hey guys, I really love and appreciate what we got going on, but I want so much more. So much more. I am hungry. I am freaking frothing at the mouth for it. Not to say I'd ever want to let go of this type of thing, where we could hang out and chat, and I'd find a way to keep the main people, even if I gotta make a special privileged Discord server and specifically send invites to the people that are here now, that are always here and have been here for years. I would hold on to it. I'd find a way. I don't care. I'm the freaking man at the end of the day. That was me flexing and working out that confidence muscle right there. But man, I gotta read that a few times, Carfree. I feel like you're really saying something there. I just gotta read it and find it and how it connects to me there, dude. Great chat. But at the core of my soul, I am maybe not desperate, because I am doing a lot of mental work to not allow myself to be desperate for YouTube money, because when I got desperate, we all saw what happened. Mr. Beast Light, as Tangled called it. I love that. I'm gonna start calling it that, or BAAACK Light. What's going on, Samantha? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to our very deep stream. We're getting deep. We're going way too deep. Can't even see you guys anymore. Man, well, I gotta read this, Carfree. Yourself now doesn't agree with yourself when you made that Soul Link footage, and that's fine. It's really up to you. As to help you, I cannot. However, it's something that hits you with your passion. So you're saying this happens to you as well, Carfree, I believe. Hey, what's going on, Trip Mac? My boy Dylan. I love you, dude. Thanks for coming through. I don't know how long you've been here. We've been getting deep, dude. I've been talking... Stick around, Dylan. I've been meaning to talk to you about this, too. I almost texted you like 5 times these last 2 weeks. I don't know what stopped me. I got a little nervous. Dylan. how bad do you still want it on YouTube? Truthfully, dig deep. I know you got a lot of good things going on in life right now. You got the new job that you're digging. Last time we talked, things are a little more on the up and up than they were before. How bad do you still want it right here on YouTube? And how hard is it for you to cope with that? And I'm gonna hit you with a big one. This one, I feel bad asking. Has this same kind of topic and general feeling also driven you to try a lot less hard than you can? And keep in mind, I say all of this because I'm describing me and asking if it's you. Are you me and am I you, my boy? Because you are the person I know in person that I feel like, we're so freaking close, dude, but I feel like this is what's made us as close as we are. The, equal passion for this crap, even though we both have been, we've struggled to make it a reality. All right. I think it's mostly card-free. You're speaking something. I gotta think on that. I can't even speak on that yet. I gotta think on this. Thank you, my boy. This is very insightful stuff. If you're not there, get there. That was heat. You just dropped deep emotional heat on this whole chat. Whoa. Okay. I hear you, Dylan. And I definitely, personally, have had times where I felt that way. But I repress a lot of my YouTube passion for fear that I will fail time and time again. Personally. And it took me a long time to accept these facts. And they're the facts of me. Not saying it's the facts of you. I really appreciate you sharing, though, Dylan. Thank you, my friend. Okay. Oh, man. So, something that really sparked me wanting to have this conversation is Sacred Almighty, a longtime PokeTuber and one of the last few guys that was fighting against every way that YouTube has changed and shifted away from the old Nuzlocke format that I'm sure everybody here is familiar with. The episode 1 through episode 30 of a Nuzlocke or a Soul Link or whatever. I miss those days a lot. And Sacred has been trying to keep those days alive until literally right now. And he finally has made the decision that since it is his job and it does pay his bills, he either has to get with the times, even though it's not his preference, or he has to quit. And he's keeping the original episode 1 through episode 30 style of content. He's going to do that for paying members so that you can still do it. You can still have the fun doing it, but he's also making it make sense for his situation because we're all adults. That all the people that were doing Pokemon YouTube when I was a kid doing Nuzlocke after Nuzlocke and everybody was watching that type of content, all those guys, including myself, I know it might be weird that I consider myself a part of that scene, but I was there, man. I was doing it just like the rest of all of them, and a lot of them have quit and not come back, and I've come back. My channel still exists. I haven't deleted all my content. You know what it is. But Sacred made a video talking about all that, and it made me want to talk about all of this. And, there is a big a big thing with, like, if you want to be a streamer, you need people to donate. And I'm not about to ask for money. I'm going to just say that off rip. I am not about to come in here and be like, so guys, I've opened a donation link. No. If you really want to help us get to a better point on YouTube where we could grow more, throw on one of my old Nuzlocke series and just put it on play and walk away. I got it all playlisted on my channel. Put the longest one you could find on play and walk away. You don't got to watch it, but get them watch hours up. You should watch it. I don't know if I can get in trouble for saying that, but put it on in the background more specifically is what I'm getting at. That is the best way you can support me and my channel and my dream right now. Just find some old series, watch it, use it for background white noise, whatever you do. Get them watch hours up. That would be awesome. I would give you a million digital corn. I will give you corn. I don't know what that was. That was the most random thing. But let me catch up a little bit. Let me catch up just a little bit. Man, you guys are freaking digging deep right now. Whole chat's deep right now. At least for now, Phoebe, maybe something will click in your head one day where you could take your traditional style and somehow do it digitally to keep with the demand, I guess. But right now, I think there is nothing wrong with getting your reps in and chasing it whichever way you chase it, you know? And hey, maybe that's the thing that makes you stand out, that you don't conform, and one day somebody's like, hey, this traditional art style, I freaking love it. This is what we need more of. Times need to come back around, and maybe you'll be ahead of that curve, you know? I got my fingers crossed every day that the TikTok ADHD epidemic will end, and we can all go back to making episodic YouTube content. That is a good point, Dylan. You did, you went very hard at streaming for a job. And you were doing a lot, man. You were, like, doing good work. I hear that. I smell what you're stepping in fully, my boy Dylan. My boy Trip. Man, I feel you so heavily on that, Phoebe, in a different regard. In the regard I'm talking about with how YouTube has shifted away from the content that I started doing and loved so freaking much. And it's not just because it was easy. It was easier, I'm not going to lie, but it was fun, man. It was so fun to be, you know, kind of doing what the whole community was doing and being a part of that thing. And, you know, by the time I started really getting viewership on any of my video content, it was on its way out. It was on its way out, and then my streams were my real bread and butter at the time. And not to say I didn't like streaming, but like I was saying earlier, I want it so bad, and I'm not going to get there through streaming. And streaming isn't my real core of my passion. I love it so much. Don't want you guys to think that I just do this to do it or like that I feel obligated. No, I love this stuff. But my real rock solid passion is to make videos that I am so proud of, so passionate about, and to have them become successful. And it's a really hard thing. It is a really hard thing. That's what I'm talking about, Dylan. Hey, holla at your boy. Dylan, we got to hang out more, dude. If you are interested in chasing this freaking thing, let's be each other's Let's be each other's freaking accountability partners, keeping each other on a healthy track to chase what we love, man. We could collaborate. We could freaking brainstorm together. We could do Pokemon videos together and whatever you end up going for and whatever I might evolve out into. I'm so down for it. And that's been what I've wanted to text you and just say this whole time is, hey man, let's get after it. Let's put all this crap aside that has made it difficult for us to pursue what we love. And let's lean on each other and get after it, because at least for me, it means more than enough to put that level of intention and effort into it. And all right. That's what I'm talking about. Carfree. But basically, I'm gonna start kind of concluding this, but I appreciate you guys so much. We've had like 6 people at least in here for the last 2 hours. You know how many watch hours that is? 12. That's a good amount. I don't know why I wanted it. Watch hours, I love making watch hour jokes. I know we got a goal we're trying to reach with the watch hours, but if we're not joking about watch hours, is it a QOX stream? That's got to be the next emote. Once we get memberships back and get an emote, watch hours. Get them watch hours up, son. I don't care about nothing that comes with it. I just get so much dopamine from seeing watch hours. Ding, 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 ding. I'm going to turn off monetization once we unlock it. I just want the watch hours, all right? That's all I need. That was a joke. That was a lie. I'm not doing that. I want it. I want it so bad. But to kind of put a bow on everything I've been saying, and then I'll read the rest of chat until the end of stream. I hope you could see it, but truthfully, I don't really care if you can't. I know how much this means to me, and in the last, I'd say like half a year, I've slowly and subconsciously been doing the work to stop seeking external validation. I've been looking for someone to tell me I'm doing the right thing, the wrong thing, what I gotta do to get my numbers up, what content's good, what content's bad. I've been looking for that for so long, for somebody to have the answers for me. And to quote Kaneki in Tokyo Ghoul, that version of me was nothing but sleep and sweet dreams. And I've had enough dreaming. I know who the heck I am. I know how good of a head I got on my shoulder. Sorry to honk my own horn a little there. But I know the value in me, and this stream has helped me a lot kind of just express this all and hear it myself vocally, instead of just in my own head. But I know what the heck I want from my life, and I've made the decision very recently, like literally in the last 2 weeks, that I'm gonna go get it. That I'm gonna find a way to make it all work, and I'm gonna go get it. I don't care how long it takes on the YouTube side of things. I might be irritated and frustrated with a lot of days and the way they play out, and the fact that that is just how life is right now. But right now does not last forever, and it's only up to me to do the work, put in that work, put in the willpower and perseverance to overcome every hurdle, physical, mental, emotional, and get after it. Because you know what? I deserve to give myself that level of respect for the thing that means this freaking much to me. Shout out to Shady. Because that, oh man, it was like a 30-second part of a hour-long video where him and Vinny had a conversation, and it stuck with me, man. And I'm so happy to have been watching that video. It's one of those funny little things. And, you know, like I said, if you're trying to help make this dream become a reality, as soon as this stream's over, click on my channel, go find a playlist, and just start letting it run in the background. Get them watch hours up. We'll get our memberships back. We'll get monetization back. And that's like step one. That is a small step along the way. But it's a step that I am very excited to make eventually when it happens. And, you know, the stuff that I need to do and that I need to do to be the man I want to be, to re-quote myself, to live by the needs of the man I want to be rather than the wants of the man I currently am. The man I want to be, he needs to get this work in. He's got to get his reps in. He's got to start getting videos out, even if they're not great. I got to get my flow going again, and I got to break down every block in my head that is stopping me from even applying myself and trying the way that I want to. Streaming's easy. Streaming's easy. I set up a stream, I hit go live, I hit end stream, and that's it. I gotta keep that going when I'm editing, when I'm doing anything else that is needed to get this there. When I'm writing a video, when I'm writing the script for a video, when I'm coming up with ideas for a video, I got so many creative blocks that I have to do the work to get to take them down, because I respect myself enough to do that for myself, because it matters. It means enough to me. And yeah. That's really, I don't think I could say much more there. And you know, I'm seeing it right now. Who I am. I feel so much like myself. And I haven't felt like myself all day. And I'm feeling right now, expressing all of this, recalibrating, refocusing. This is worth it. More than freaking anything other than keeping a roof over my beautiful family's head. You know? And hopefully this leads to that. That's the only reason. If money wasn't a thing, I wouldn't care as much. You know, maybe I'd still want that success to know for the somewhat of a validation, but I got to get past that, because seeking for validation from viewers and high view counts, it doesn't work, man. You got to watch your content, and if you go watch a video you made and enjoy it fully, and then the next one you can enjoy even more and you can improve every time, that's what it's all about, dude. That's what I want to be about. That's what I'm going to be about. That's what I need to be about to be who I want to be. And it's like I keep saying, it means enough to me. I am disrespecting myself when I neglect this. And I owe myself better than that. And as a quick little cherry on top, I will share this last. If you go to my channel, there is another channel somewhere on the screen, down at the bottom. You'll see my face going. There's like a solid color black background. It's not black. It's not a black background. It's like orange or yellow or green, or I don't know what color I used on that one. But that channel, I'm going to start uploading there. I'm going to use it as a way to get my reps in with the lowest effort content imaginable. And it's content I want to make. It's content I'm passionate about. If you guys are familiar with Moist Critical, Penguins Zero, Charlie, Charles White, the boy, I really, you know, I know he doesn't put a ton of effort into his videos. He sits there, he shares his mind, he speaks, he talks, and then he ends his recording, and he pretty much just uploads it just like that. There's not a lot of editing. I love that style of content from more people than just Charlie. He's not the only one I could watch those types of commentary videos from, you know, but I really enjoy it. And there's a lot that I would love to share my mind on, to speak on. And, you know, I'm going to try to steer clear of certain polarizing topics. Not to say I don't have opinions and don't have things I would like to say. I just would like to keep it more positive, more kind of lighthearted than a lot of those things, because that's also healthier for me. I try not to focus on a lot of the polarizing things, because I've noticed the argument, not the conversation, but the argument that is louder than the conversation is so irrational, and it drives me nuts seeing people cherry pick and say what they gotta say to make their side of an argument more valid, and that happens from every side of every argument, and I don't want to be a part of that rat race. I don't. I have zero interest. Every now and then I get caught up, emotionally attached to it, and then I'm like, no, it's not good for me. It gets me nowhere, and nothing positive comes out of it. So, what is the bio on that channel? I know the if you do youtube.com/@ the name is Lord of Corn Dogs. Hey, Carfrey, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Lord of Corn Dogs. I thought that was a great URL to scoop up while it was available. And I'm leaving it forever. But yeah, I'm gonna get my reps in on that channel and just talk about things I want to talk about. I don't care how popular it might get. Get ready for clickbait titles. The thumbnails are probably just gonna be me sitting there like, but you know, I want to sit here and talk more. I love it. I love sitting here and talking. It's one of my favorite parts about YouTube is the commentating. And I've never really tried my hand at just purely commentary videos and talking about random stuff. So, the real world is nicer than the internet led me to believe. I still stand by that. That's kind of what I was just talking about with all the polarizing stuff. It's only online. These arguments that are louder than the conversation are only online. Keyboard warriors, and I don't want to be one of those. But, yeah, that's that channel I'm gonna start uploading on. You need a thumbnail with the Sasuke pose. I don't know what exact pose you're talking about. I'll do it for you, Phoebe. But yeah, that's kind of what I got for you guys. On a personal note, I'm gonna scroll up in the chat, catch up with you guys. But Carfree, thank you again for sharing that link, my boy. Can I, if I click that, nice. I can copy that. And I'm just going to tell you right now, we're not rating another streamer. We're rating Lord of Corn Dogs. Because I want you guys to check that out if you're interested. And like I said, I want it bad. I want it bad. But all right. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I feel like I've said everything pretty well. If you guys have questions, I guess I'll answer a couple questions, but I don't know what those would look like. But yeah. That's what I got for you guys today. And I really appreciate everybody sticking around. Like, it's pretty incredible the concurrent viewership I had on this. I know that I have a way with words, and I'm about to say something that I have never, ever talked about on this channel, and I'm feeling strong enough to do it now. I used to smoke a lot of pot, and I have recently cut back massively. In the last 2 weeks, I have only partook like once in a way that actually did something other than like do a little tiny something. I didn't really do nothing. Quitting has been the most beautiful first step to do this I could have ever imagined. Because the way I'm talking right now, I couldn't talk like this, even when I wasn't smoking, just because of how often I did. And, yeah, I just wanted to share that. I don't know why. I've always wanted to address that on YouTube, but it is the only place I have ever felt shame to announce that I have done that. That is something I used to partake in pretty freaking regularly. And I'm feeling really strong, and I'm so happy that I finally cut it out, because it's been a long time coming, But it's good, man. My way with words I used to pride myself on has come back. My ambition is skyrocketing back to what it used to be so long ago. And I appreciate you guys being with me on this journey. Even though it was, obviously you didn't know about that particular part. I wanted to share that. It affects everybody differently, Phoebe. Just be smart and have somebody you really trust to be honest with you about the effects for somebody doing it on their first time, if you are going to do it. But I'm not going to get too much into that. But look at this. Chat here is like, don't do it. Don't do it. And now that I'm off of it, it has too good of a reputation. Let's just say that. Not saying it's going to kill you. For some people, it's great. It's very helpful, beneficial, medicinal. For me, it has been a hindrance for years now. But anyways, I'm going to catch up with chat now. Thank you for letting me express that and not treating me any differently, chat. That was something I had to do for me, and I figured now's a good time. It's so funny, too. It's so small, but I'm glad to have said that now. Okay, let me catch up with chat, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Can we do a Delibird of Doom, but he's staring at watch hours? You gotta mix the two emotes, because we still got the Delibird of Doom. I'll hit you with the Delibird of Doom right now, actually. No way. No way! Did YouTube take away my emotes from me? Guys, we're cooked. Chat, we are cooked. I can't use my own emotes anymore. We're cooked! Okay, get them watch hours up now. Now! Alright. Let's see. I'm reading right now. I'm reading everything. I mean, work is like the #1 place I could learn welding right now, car-free. And I had a blast trying it out yesterday for the first time ever. But the only thing about it is right now, the selection of teachers and the pressure that I feel like they're under, it feels incredibly wrong to ask any of them to give up their free time to teach me how to weld. And I do got a buddy I'm pretty close with on my crew. He'll be the guy I bug, but I would feel really bad because he is also, he's under a lot of pressure on this job. And, it's learning is fun, but I also have a bigger passion than just learning at becoming great at things. I have always gotten good at almost anything I put my mind to, and it's going to happen one way or another. Let's just put it that way. And I think it's because my job itself doesn't include the learning. I'd have to go out of somebody else's way to help me learn. I'm just going to practice, and if somebody decides to walk by and give me some pointers, so be it. I'm going to spend most of my lunch breaks coming up just welding scrap metal together to learn more about that, because that felt really good. Oh man. I love you, Dylan. That was very heartfelt, and I love you, brother. Thank you very much. We'll be in touch. Oh, that's awesome. People out here offering to let people share art with each other. Very nice. Very nice. All right. I think I have caught up. That is a little bit, Phoebe, DM me. If we're going to talk about this, DM me. I'll be totally transparent with you in DMs. But I don't want to say too much here. I know I can't get demonetized because I'm not monetized. But I don't want to get, taken down or something. Thank you, Gotcha. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think the eatable form I've kind of seen more responsible use out of it in a lot of people, but not everybody. For certain uses, Phoebe, it's fantastic. It is fantastic. Moderation is key. Daily use, unless it is purely medicinal, I would never recommend to anybody now that I've learned what I've learned over these last few years. And I kind of feel bad for people that need to use it daily to treat actual symptoms, because it'll trick you into thinking you're helping yourself with it when you're really just helping yourself get over not having it by doing more. It's all psychological. It's not really like my body didn't have a hard time putting it down except falling asleep. But yeah, it definitely will hook you in, and it'll get you to start thinking crazy stuff to justify using it way more than you need to, just because it still is. It's delivering dopamine to your body, and it feels good. Dopamine's nice, and you'll want as much of it as you can get, but you gotta get it from good, healthy sources like exercise and spending time with those you love, and working on your passions and your ambitions, and yeah. Nice, Phoebe. And if you need any advice, I'm here. You could DM me. But okay, guys, thank you all very much for coming to this stream. Funny enough, we didn't even work on our Nuzlocke, our hardcore Nuzlocke. Next stream, we're Nuzlocking, baby. We're back. The game is calling our name. And I don't even remember where we're at. We're going to have to do a little recap or something. But I appreciate you guys all so much. This stream has been amazing. Way more amazing than I anticipated. I knew we were going to get deep. But I didn't know we were going to get this deep, and I didn't know chat was going to get deep back. I thought it was just going to be me. And I appreciate you guys opening up, and I'm proud of you guys for doing that, because I know it's not easy to talk about a lot of the stuff we talked about today. And just know, no matter what you're going through, you got BAAACK in your camp. I believe in you. I believe in everybody that isn't like a terrible criminal that deserves less than the rest, because they are out there. But I don't think that's anybody in my chat, and I don't think that's most people. As the bio of the Lord of Corndog says, the internet has led me to believe, the real world has led me to believe the world is a better place than the internet has led me to believe. But yeah. Hey, of course, Phoebe, and thank you for sharing with us. It means a lot. It means a lot to be that type of community where you can share that. Hey, gotcha. I'm gonna be straight up. I have fought against going to a therapist my whole life. I have found excuse not to go to one. And if all goes well, I'll have my first appointment next Saturday. And that's hard for me to say because it's scary. It's very scary for me. But it's, I think we're making the right choice in thinking that way, that it will be good. And it doesn't hurt to try. And if you find one that isn't a match, you could try some more. Therapists are still people. They're all different. And I know plenty of people that started with one that didn't work for them and then switched to one that made a world of difference in their life and within themselves. So, hey, if you push past that and start that, just know I'm right there with you. You ain't alone. And I know we're not alone when there's thousands, if not millions of people just like us out there that we will never meet. But it's the human experience. Thank you guys all for coming through. Thank you for being you. And may you always wear soft silks. Cat's waving. Everybody give Cat a round of applause. I love you.
I love you. Give Cody a round of applause.
We're clapping. Clap with me, Cat. Where's the bells, like when the stock market in the morning, when they ding, 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 and everybody's clapping there in front of the plaque? That's us right now.
Yeah.
Hold on. We need one more round of applause. Molly, come here.
Come on,
Molly, come here. Come here.
Yeah.
And give Molly a round of applause, everybody. Let's hear it for Molly.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming. We appreciate you. We love you. and we'll catch you at the next stream. I'm gonna try to get back on here tomorrow, but don't hold me to it. Maybe there will be a Cody Mack video tomorrow. You ever think of that? Ever think of that? Also, I can unplug this mic and plug it into my phone and record outside, and it sounds great. So I might have to do some outdoor videography. I'm out of here, guys. I already dropped the link to the other channel. I'm rating myself. Yes. Go subscribe if you're interested. We got a woohoo Molly. And I agree, Gotcha. Good on us for taking these steps here tonight. I'm proud of us all. And hopefully we all, you know, we're all a little more prepared for what comes next. Having shared our struggles with each other here, we got a community, man. We got a community here. And if we want to do something like this a lot more often, I'm not going to act like a licensed therapist and be like, give me your advice, or give me your problems, chat. But I'm down. I'm down for once in a while hopping on here, just chatting, and we might get deep. I don't care. We don't have to keep it chill when we're just chatting. We can get deep. And it was pretty chill, too. You guys hear this music. I know Kat does it, but we've been listening to some real chill tunes this whole time.
Nice.
All right, guys. I'm out of here, and so is Kat, and so is Molly.
Have a good night.
Bye! You guys are the best. May you always wear soft silks, part 2. Hey, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's only one correct response to may you always wear soft silks, and it's keep rocking that denim, baby. I expect to see it next time in chat. Bye!